you been doing, Fred? Good, man. Good to see you. Remarkable to see you, sir. Remarkable to see you. Thank you for your leadership, man. Thank you for your excellence.
Oh, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. My phone died.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Blessed.
So how long is the segment?
It's an hour,
Okay.
and so it's casual.
Okay.
I'll guide you,
Okay.
and we just talk.
It's gonna rock. Yeah.
I don't do much of an introduction.
You
I let you tell everything you want to tell about you.
You're so crazy.
Well, because when you have these crazy long resumes,
Crazy long. Is that what you?
good morning, good morning, good morning. That's right, it's Wednesday. Are you awake? Come on now, it's 10 a.m. Eastern. Are you not awake yet? I need you to get up. Listen, I know. You're still job hunting and you're frustrated and it's Wednesday and the covers felt good and maybe wherever you are the temperature has gone down, dipped down just a little bit and you said I'm staying in the bed. Well, listen, I might let you stay in the bed, but I need you to get a pen and a piece of paper because it's Working Wednesday. My name is Margaret DeBellotte. I am Miss D, the job coach, and I am here to help you go to work. That's right. I know you're job hunting. I know you're frustrated. I know that you had an interview on Monday and you're not sure if they're going to actually call you on Thursday like they said, but I'm going to give you some information, some tips, some tools, some tricks, some ideas to help you stay motivated through your job search. That's the whole point of Working Wednesday. That's why we started this whole thing, so that you could get over the hump. Somebody told you it was hard to get over the hump. Well, I'm going to make it easy and you're going to slide right over it. That's right. All right, it's Working Wednesday, and we're on In Touch News Radio. But I told you earlier this year that I would not come in this studio solo. No. So while I am rolling around, turning corners, visiting with folks, I find, listen, sometimes I go behind the building, under a bush, wherever I need to go. In my DMs, wherever I need to go to find guests. And I don't just get you any old type of guests. I'm going to get you some good guests. And listen, let me tell you something. If you watch me on social media, you can find me on all social media at MSD Job Coach. If you follow me, you already know that my guest is an amazing guy. When I say amazing, doesn't even touch who this guy is. I am so honored. This is the pinnacle of my career. This is the top. No. I'm not going to let you take this one. No. This is the top of the line for me today. I met this gentleman some years ago when he was a keynote speaker at an event that I was in attendance at. And when I reached out to him and I said, listen, I know that, you're at the top of the line and I'm just a little bitty guy. I'm only 5'2.5", and I'm just struggling trying to make something happen in my life. But if you have time, dear kind sir, would you please come and share your amazing message with my audience? And let me tell you, sometimes you just have to ask. You never know what a person will do. Today I have the amazing, the wonderful, the humble, the sweet as pecan pie, Delatorro McNeal. Good morning, sir.
Yay! Good morning. How are you?
Oh my God, I'm amazed. I can just pass out right here. You just don't know. I could just pass out right here. Delatorro, listen, I don't really do huge introductions as far as people's resumes because sometimes the people who I'm sitting alongside of have resumes that are so big. You have books that are piled so high because you've written so... I can't even tell people. You tell people as much as you want them to know about who you are, and it's going to unfold in this conversation.
Have mercy. I'm a humble guy here from Tampa, Florida, raised by two parents who really pushed me to develop two words that you never hear on social media anymore.
What's that?
Work ethic.
Oh my goodness.
I don't hear work ethic talked about anymore on social media. You don't hear it on the internet that much. We hear hustle and grind, but we don't hear work ethic.
Right.
And that's really what my parents instilled in me. And so, there's all kinds of resume stuff we could talk about. The fact that, we've been fortunate enough to deliver over 4,000 paid talks all around the world. We're one of the youngest CSPs in the world, Certified Speaking Professional designation. I've been a full-time paid professional motivational speaker for 15 years. 2019 makes 15 years.
Dadgum, I
that I've
need
been
some
full-time.
applause for that. Listen, sometimes, I look very young, and people don't know that I've been in the HR profession for 20 years. I've been hiring, training, and developing people professionally
Wow.
for 20 years.
Wow.
And when I tell people that, they just kind of look at me funny. And when you've been doing something for a long time,
Yeah.
you know the ins, the outs, the what to do, the what not to do.
Exactly.
And the only reason why you stayed there usually is your work ethic.
That's right. That's right. And people don't get it. They don't understand. Nowadays people work like they love.
Mhm.
If you don't hear "I love you" every day, boom, they're like, "I'm out."
That's right,
You know what I'm saying?
haphazard.
Hello, right?
I'm taking my toys and go home. Forget
Exactly,
this.
right.
They didn't
So,
like me today.
So I coach a lot of managers and leaders in corporate America, and I say, listen, whatever performance that you want to continue, you must incentivize. Because the truth is, people work out of incentive now. 9 times out of 10, people will work out of integrity, out of their own sense of autographing their work with excellence.
That's right.
And so that's one of the things that we've been fortunate enough to do. And so I'm really, really committed. I mean, at this stage of my life, I'm 41. I've been full-time 15 years in the industry, 20 years. I got 2 daughters. I'm a single dad. Miracle is 13.
Wow.
Hope is 11.
Wow.
So I'm very, very blessed. And it's every morning I wake up, I pinch myself because I'm so fortunate to get a chance to go in front of perfect strangers, a room full of perfect strangers, and in an hour keynote or a 3-hour corporate training, I can replace negative voices that people have been listening to for 10, 15, 20 years of their life. So it's absolutely remarkable.
The doors. Listen, this is really one of the things that I want to talk about today. Is in addition to work ethic, I did a talk over the weekend for some young people, and the title of the talk is "Using Your Network to Increase Your Net Worth."
Teach it.
Because, and it's more than just, when I say using your network, I'm talking about getting alongside of people in a relationship, something where you're both giving each other something. It's not a transaction.
Right.
I mean, we talked about work ethic. People think everything is transactionary. You can't always go after just the money, because I was taught very early in my career, and I mentored under millionaires early in my career, and I am fortunate because of it today. What they taught me was do the work.
Yeah.
Do the work, because if you do the work and you are consistent and persistent, you will make the money.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, what's funny is people, if I can put a caveat to that, people say this all the time. They say, follow your passion and the money will follow. I think that's garbage.
Okay. Okay.
And here's the reason why I think that's garbage. It excuses us from the responsibility of becoming excellent.
Oh.
I'm going to say that again. If you just buy into pursue your passion and the money will follow, and you remove from the success equation the importance of proficiency.
Yes.
See, we don't talk about that. We talk about, whatever your passion is, whatever you have chutzpah for, whatever you got swag about, whatever you get excited about, just go after that. Well, can you go after that with excellence? Can you go after that by actually being good?
Because the excellence is what yields the income. And when I talk about going after your passion and going after something you love, because if you're passionate about it, you will stay with it when you're not making any money. Because in the very beginning, when you're learning it, when you're making the mistakes, when somebody's grooming and grinding with you, you're not making any money. And if you're not passionate about it, you will give up. Because if you only went after it for the money, you're not going to stay there to do the work that's required to get to the excellence.
So
People don't get to
So one of the things that I talk about in my book called Between a Dream and a Job is that the truth is, and you know this to be true, I say all the time, never pursue a career or a job because that's where the money is.
Right.
Because there's a concept called Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law says that expenses rise to meet income. Parkinson's Law also states that a task will swell to fit the time allotted. It's almost like a tree or plant will grow to fit the pot you put it in. So if you go after a $40,000 job and you say, okay, I'm doing this because I want to make 40 G's, bam, 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 I'm doing it for the money. Here's what's going to happen. Because you live in a capitalistic society, your expenses are going to meet $40,000, $50,000, $60,000.
That's right.
Now, every day you're going to work not for the enjoyment of what you do. You're going to work out of fear to pay the bills that you've accumulated because your expenses have risen to meet your income. And so people don't get that. So that's why I say you must work in your area of passion and your area of gifting.
Right.
And when people understand what their gifts and talents are, now I can pursue a career in alignment with what God already innately put on the inside of me. And the problem is, most of us are deciding careers without discovering and uncovering our gift first.
Absolutely. When I work
Yeah.
with a client, when they come to me and they say, I need to change my job, I go, well, what is it that you're looking to do? And they're like, I want any job. I ask them to Google any job. There's
Right.
no such job as any job. No such job.
Google any job. Just do me a favor.
Okay.
Just Google that.
Then they say, I want to make this kind of money. And I go, okay, well, how about shucking peanuts? You want to shuck peanuts every day for that much money? And they
Right.
look at me and they go, well, shucking peanuts doesn't pay that. And I go, no, my point is that you're not willing to do any job just for the money.
Exactly.
You've got to, if you're already working, if you're already in a career and you're making that turn, because I meet a lot of people that are in that point in their life where they're making the turn.
Yeah.
And they're making the turn because they went after the money.
Yes.
And they've made the money, but now
Absolutely.
they need something else. Now
Yeah.
they want something else. Now they're thinking about what they're passionate about. They're thinking about what's going to make them happy every day going to work.
So here's this is going to hurt a whole lot of people's feelings, but it's the truth. There is a massive difference between making money and making meaning.
Say that again. I like that. Oh, I got to get a pen. I got to write. Listen, I told y'all to take notes, right? Write that down.
There is
Say
a
that again.
massive difference between making money and making meaning. And the problem is, most of us are going after the money without the meaning. And that's why the money is then used to pay bills, and every day you feel empty. At the end of the day, it's so crucial that we understand that meaning trumps everything. It's important that we understand that purpose precedes plans.
Wow.
It's so important that we understand that potential is the priority. At the end of the day, I'm pursuing this job or this career because it's going to exercise my potential. It's going to extract some of my gifts and talents and abilities. I'm going after this career opportunity because it's in alignment with my passion, with my purpose, with my life assignment. One of my good friends is a guy by the name of Bishop Noel Jones. One of the things that Bishop Noel Jones talks about is he says, as soon as you were dropped on this earth, as soon as you were dropped on this earth, a problem was dropped on the earth at the exact same time.
Right.
As soon as you were dropped on this earth, a problem was dropped on the earth at the same time. When you and the problem you solve collide, your calling has been reached.
Amen.
And one of the things that I believe, and I teach it in the book, is that you're not supposed to get to your calling after 30, 40, 50 years and that be some final destination. You're supposed to discover your calling early and then live your life serving humanity by operating in that calling.
Well, you know what happens though, and this is my story. This is my story. I knew very early in life what I wanted to do. I knew way in my early 20s. I went off into a business and I got groomed by some very successful people. And then I looked at them a few years in and I said, I don't want to do this. And they were like, are you crazy? You know what we're laying at your feet? I was like, but I don't want to do that. And so I turned my head and I went in a different direction. But I know from a very young child, radio is what I wanted to do.
I love it.
Influencing people with my voice and my knowledge and my passion is what I've always wanted to do. And having the platform to do it is what my journey has been about.
Yeah.
I have been around the mountain for the last 40 years. And I now, with the love of people supporting me and people mentoring me and encouraging me to keep going, not to look at all the sidebars that I took on and look at those as mistakes. No, those are lessons. Those were all lessons. I didn't necessarily have to do that though. Today I know I did not have to go around the mountain for 40 years.
Right. And you know what's so funny is that, and so when I first started my career, the first 6 years of my speaking career, I spoke exclusively to college students. And I helped young people because I came out. So the rest of my story is really simple. So in the 5th and 6th grade, I was labeled an at-risk youth, told academically I wasn't going to amount to much of anything. And my 6th grade teacher who taught at Progress Village right here in Hillsborough County, her name was Miss Diane Williams. She looked at me on the first day of class. She said, you're not a youth at risk, you're a youth at promise. And she said, I'm not going to just teach you this year, I'm going to mentor you this year. You know, I honestly believe this, Margaret. I think every time we go up to a military person, we should say thank you for your service. But I think every time we go up to an educator, we should hug them and say thank you for your impact.
Yes.
Like chill bumps. Because I think every one of us have a favorite story of someone, a favorite teacher who was the difference maker, right?
That's right.
And so Miss D was the difference maker in my life. And she taught me, she said, why would you live your life trying to keep up with the Joneses? Why would you? She said, the moment that you were dropped on this earth, your potential took off ahead of you, and the whole race of life is about you catching up with yourself, not the Joneses.
Wow.
You know, she was like, so I need you to catch up with the Delatorro that's already running ahead of you. And so one of the things that I committed myself to doing is when I first came out and I wanted to be a speaker, I knew that I was very young. I was 21. I just finished Florida State with a bachelor's and master's, and I was working in corporate America, but like you, I didn't feel connected there.
Right.
It was a great path. I could have gone all the way up to partnership in this consulting firm. That's not what God was calling me to do.
Right.
And so I got laid off 1 year new to that corporate opportunity, and I looked myself in the mirror after I got laid off. I was living in a townhouse in West Chase, and I said, never again am I going to let somebody else determine my destiny.
Wow.
I'm going to get in the driver's seat of my life. Now, with all that chutzpah, I still need money. Come on, somebody.
That's right.
So
I like living indoors, and this is Florida. You
Come
know,
on,
we need
somebody.
some air conditioning.
Right? So I took a 2-year job at the University of South Florida, and I taught public speaking at the university level, and I also taught instructional design, which is what my master's degree was in. And on nights, weekends, and lunch breaks, 3 of the things that you need if you're going to ever transition into entrepreneurship, if you're watching this broadcast, there's 3 things that you need if you want to shift from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur, if you want to shift from working a job to living your dream. There are 3 assets, and I teach this in my book. These are the 3 most important assets that you have to your disposal that will help your shift: nights, weekends, and lunch breaks. It was on nights, weekends, and lunch breaks that I began to make my shift. So when I was at the job, because I teach people this in the book, I said there's 3 kinds of time: job time, dream time, and me time.
Right.
Job time is the time that you put in at the job to get your money, to get your hourly rate or your salary, et cetera, your commission. Dream time is the time that you invest in your dream, because the truth is whatever you water grows.
That's right.
And people don't understand that. They hang around the same folks all the time, and they wonder why their dream isn't growing. You ain't watering nothing.
That's right. You talk about the 5 people in your circle, and if they're in your circle and y'all are all doing the same thing, y'all are all going to stay in the same place forever until you bring somebody into the circle or you step out of the circle.
Yeah.
I believe that your circle has to change from time to time if you intend to grow. People always made fun of me because they said, you just go right to the front of the line and you talk to the person with the keys. I said, I sure do, because the person with the keys can show me something.
Come on.
I want to talk to the CEO of the company.
That's right.
And I have been able to do that. I have been successful at doing that since I was very early, very, very young. And people say, how do you know that person? And they know your name. They actually know you. Nice. I go, because I went up and I talked to them, because I am genuinely interested in how people got where they got. I want to know how you did that. How did you do that? Well, I was talking on, I do a 6 a.m. Facebook show called Margaret in the Morning. And so I was talking about the story, the advice that you gave me. I ran into you in the airport.
Yes.
And I said, hey, I'd like to buy you a cup of coffee. And you said, really? I said, yeah, I'd like to learn more about, what you do speaking. And I remember you told me to go watch your show, The Keynote. And I said, dude, I want to buy you a cup of coffee. I want to talk to you. I don't want to go watch no stinking show. I'm serious. That was what I said to myself. And then I got my emotions together. I did. I had to have a conversation. I'm a very emotional person, and I like that about myself. And so I had to check my, check up from the neck up and put it back in perspective. And I said, this guy gave me some advice. I need to follow this guy's advice. Yeah. This guy is where I say I'm trying to go. Right. So I better take the advice of this guy. Too many times I think we put our attitude and our ego in the wrong place. And we say, well, they're not going to help me. I'll go find somebody else. No, the help was right here in my hand. And I had a choice. I could have said, that guy is a jerk and he doesn't want to help me. Or I could have said, let me take the advice and apply it. Right. And so I took the advice and I watched the show and I learned so much. I was like, that's all the stuff. That's what he was talking about. That's all the questions I was going to ask him. Dadgum, he knew what he was talking about. And this is what I tell people. People are going to give you advice. It's up to you what you do with it.
Exactly.
There's a book, and my friend talks about the book of 66, and it tells you that you have power, you have control, you have gifts, you have all this stuff, but what you going to do with it?
It's so powerful. One of the things that I say to people all the time, Margaret, is I say, if you never go up to a successful person and ask them a question that you could have learned from their book.
Wow. That's what you told me too.
Come
You
on.
said go over there and get that.
No, but
No, but let me tell you something. That reading of it, that digesting it that
Yeah.
way. See, we can have a conversation, and I'm going to forget 50% of what we talked about, or
Right,
more.
exactly.
It's going to fall on the floor, and
Boom.
I'm just going to, because I have this emotion and excitement and all of
Exactly.
this. But when I sit down and I open the book,
Yes.
and I make the notes and I dog-ear pages
right,
and I
that's
write
right.
stuff down, that's a completely different experience.
It's a completely different learning experience, and the truth is, repetition. Write this down. Repetition is the mother of skill. Rehearsal is the father of learning. Let me say that again. Repetition is the mother of skill. Rehearsal is the father of learning. Most of us do not understand that you need to hear something at least 25 times in order for it to really, really get down into your DNA. And the DNA stands for daily natural action. You just missed it. Good God,
Daily
mercy.
natural
See, we got to go back.
action.
Are
Give it
y'all
again.
get-
Give it again. Come
See,
on. I told you
need
to write stuff
hear,
down.
You got to hear something at least 25 times to really get it. And when you get it, here's how you know you got it. When it sinks into your DNA, your daily natural action. When it happens effortlessly. People who are successful have success habits. And they do these habits like it's breathing. They
That's right.
do it like it's blinking. They do it with what I like to call unconscious competence.
That's right.
It's a level of excellence that's almost effortless, and it's because they put the work in on the front end.
That's right.
And so one of the things that I firmly believe is that if we want to go to that next level, we got to be committed. Because for most of us, we were told all of our lives we ain't gonna amount to much of nothing. So if you've been told for the first 25 years of your life, or the first 15 years of your life, that you weren't going to amount to much nothing, you need to listen every day that you are the head and not the tail. If you were told that you were always going to be broke, you need to listen to, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, I am the righteous. You need to hear positive things. Faith cometh by hearing. And at the end of the day, one of my mentors, a good friend of mine, Les Brown, I know you know Les Brown.
Yes, of course.
Les is a great friend of mine. Les told me this. He said, Delatorro, faith cometh by hearing, even if it's a lie.
Ooh.
He said, if you hear a lie enough,
You too will believe it.
you're going to start to believe
You
it.
will. You'll believe it.
So at the end of the day, it is crucially important that we understand the role that we have in reprogramming consciousness.
That's right. That's right.
We have got to flip the script, and that's why I lead. When people come to me and say, "Hey, Delatorro, I want to do this, I want to do that," I always give them an introductory first step to see how serious they are.
That's right.
And life is going to do the exact same thing. Life is going to give you a first base. I say this all the time. Don't ask for third base instruction when you don't have your foot on first base yet.
That's
it doesn't
right.
make sense. God's not going to give you third base instruction when you ain't even got to first base yet.
That's right.
Take the baby steps first.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, high achievers value baby steps. My goal, I've got a huge conference coming up in July, the Full Throttle Experience, July 10th through the 14th, right here in Tampa. And guess what? There's 100,000 things that have to come together to make a 300-person conference happen.
Absolutely.
But if I get focused on all 300 things, every day I'm going to die.
That's right. That's right. You'll be overwhelmed.
Baby
I'm
steps.
I'm
Baby
working
steps.
towards. I'm
Baby
working
steps.
towards the event this weekend, the Empowerment Summit.
Girl. So you know, I just moved back to Tampa. I was
Yes.
in Dallas for 2
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
So as soon as I moved back, I'm like, yeah, Empowerment Summit. I'm like, I see all the speakers. I'm like, where is Delatorro? I'm about to fight somebody. But you about to. But I'm gonna be at the next one. How about
Yes,
that? I'm
yes,
gonna be at the
yes,
next
yes,
one.
yes,
Y'all gonna
yes,
kill that.
yes,
Y'all kill it
yes.
this year at the Godfrey.
Oh my
And I'm gonna be
God.
at next year's Empowerment Summit.
Oh my God. Okay, we have to take a break. I want to keep going. I want to keep going. This is Working Wednesday. I'm Miss
Hey,
Nita, Job
hey,
Coach. This is In Touch
hey.
News Radio. We'll be right back.
In Touch News Radio, baby.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I don't even. Am I gonna be able to finish this show? Yes, I am. Y'all just don't know.
You hit a home run, lady. You hit a home run.
Y'all just don't know.
Yes,
Let me
yes.
tell you the thought I had. I said, after that show's over, what else am I gonna do? I said, no, I gotta do the Empowerment Summit.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I gotta do. You know.
That's
But
right.
listen, I'm gonna tell a story about me calling into the Breakfast Club recently,
Nice.
and a recognition that I got from those guys. Charlemagne the God said something to me, and
Yeah.
DJ CEO said the same thing to me.
What's
you know,
that?
when I say that I was meant to do this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was meant to do this.
Oh, no doubt.
I wanted to do this. My father, my natural father, I did not grow up with him. My natural father is in the DJ Hall of Fame. He was a music producer. He produced the song Ladies Night. Keith Carlos is his name. Yes,
Wow.
yes. So it's in my DNA.
Yeah.
For real.
Come
you
on
know?
now.
And when I was
We
a
got 15
kid,
seconds.
my family, I didn't grow up with the part of my family that understood radio and entrepreneurship and all of that. And they were like, what is wrong with that little girl? Why she don't sit down? Why she always talking? What's wrong with her? You know?
Wow.
But today, this is what I'm doing.
Come on. Boom.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Wednesday. That's right. That means it's Working Wednesday. My name is Margaret DeBellotte. I am Miss D, the job coach. Listen, the coach is being coached by the coach of all coaches that's coaching the coaches. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Delatorro, McNeal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are on fire today. We are on fire.
Yes.
Good, let it burn, baby. Let it burn. Listen, being able to be in the studio with you today, me, you, and DJ CEO, we are tearing it up. We are tearing it up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's so good to have a fantastic voice here, other than mine, of course.
Well, alrighty then.
Other than Delatorro McNeal. Man, it is just a pleasure to have you here,
An
man.
honor,
Thank
sir.
you
I
so,
honor
so
you.
much.
Thank you for your legacy, your leadership here in Tampa, man.
Thank
It's
you.
remarkable, man. It inspires me.
Thank you, brother. Coach D, you have hit a home run, a grand slam by bringing this gentleman in.
Oh, thank you so much. An honor indeed.
Well, you know, great people. When I see great people doing great things, and see, there's a recipe. There's a recipe, and you've got to spend time with people to know the greatness that's in them.
Yeah.
You know, I talk a lot about the R word, the relationships that we need to build with people. We need to get alongside people and find out not just what did they do. You know, you've got this stack of books and you've got a great resume, but who are you really?
Exactly.
And listening to you, you got to listen to who people are.
Yeah, that's
listen
right.
to them, watch them move, observe what they actually do. I tell people all the time, I listen to 50% of what people say and I watch 100% of what they do. And when I see where they are and what they're doing and who they're with and who they're shouting out and what work they are putting into their community, that's where the respect comes from.
Exactly.
For me.
Exactly. And you said that. And if I can just piggyback off of what you just said, something powerful hit me. You know, I speak in metaphors, right? An apple tree tells on itself. You never have to go up to an apple tree and ask the tree what kind of tree it is.
That's right.
Because you can judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. So I don't need to look around. I can see who you are, and I can see what's going on around in your life based upon the fruit that's fallen off of your life. And I think that's crucially important. Right before the break, we talked about the circle. Yeah. We talked about the network, right? And your network determining your net worth and how you share that with young people. And I think that's so powerfully important. One of the things that I teach people all the time is you need to have friends at different levels.
That's right.
You need to have Applebee's friends. Applebee's friends are great. I love my Applebee's friends. But I can't get to where I'm trying to go if all I do is hang around Applebee's friends.
Right.
So at some point you got to upgrade to P.F. Chang friends.
Uh-oh.
Right? And I have a circle of P.F. Chang friends, right? But my P.F. Chang friends can only take me to a certain level, and then I got to get some Ruth Chris friends.
Ooh, okay.
Come on, somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have friends at different levels.
Absolutely.
Because the U.S. Census has already told you will earn within 5 to 10 grand of your 5 closest friends.
Wow.
So I want to give everybody who's listening and who's watching a challenge. I want you to go into your cell phone, and I want you to look at the last 15 people that you've texted. And I want you to look and just guesstimate, how much do you think these people earn per year? Is that the income bracket you want to be in?
Exactly.
Smart people, successful people have smart friends and successful friends on purpose.
Absolutely.
One of my mentors was a guy by the name of Dr. George Fraser. He's a great mentor, great friend of mine. Created the Power Networking Conference, the largest African-American networking conference on the planet.
Wow.
And one of the things that Dr. George Fraser says is, he says, your friends are God's way of apologizing to you for your family.
I know that's right. I know that's right for real.
He said your friends are God's way of apologizing to you for your family.
That's for real.
Ooh,
You must have seen my family members.
I know I gave you a
Lord.
crazy cousin. I know I gave you a crazy sister. I know I gave you a crazy auntie.
I know your mama there. I know your mama there.
I know your
so
mama
let me
there.
help you
Right.
out.
Right. So because I know I gave you that family that you had no choice in, I'm going to give you full choice over who your friends will be.
Wow, that's powerful. You have full
is.
choice over who your friends
You have
are.
full choice.
Listen, I look at my friends list sometime and I ask myself, is that a friend or a client? Is that a friend or a client? Is that a friend, somebody that I can pull from?
Yeah,
Somebody that we can reciprocate the relationship?
Right.
Or is that someone that I need to help and send them on along their way?
You know, it's funny because people are watching us on Facebook like crazy right now, all over the world, right? And one of the things that I'm hearing people say is, I need to upgrade my friendships. And I think it's so vitally important that we understand there's people around you right now that all you need to do is, you don't need to change persons, you need to change topics. Because all you do is, oh, girl, how your day doing? What you up to? We going to the club? Ask me a better question.
Right.
Ask me a deeper question.
Right.
One of my mentors is a guy by the name of Tony Robbins. We've all heard of him, right?
Yes.
I mean, you love him or hate him, you can't argue with his results, right? At the end of the day, Tony's killing it. You try to get 10,000 people in the Staples Center that each paid $7,000, and they spend a week with you from 180 countries around the world.
Okay.
You can't argue with the guy's results. At the end of the day, Tony Robbins said this, and I always remember this. He said, I just left a seminar, I was walking down the street, and he said, there was a homeless guy that comes up to me, and he says, hey, do you have a dollar? Do you have a dollar? I need a dollar. He said, well, sure, I have a dollar. He's like, is that all you want from me? He's like, yeah, all I want is a dollar. I just want to go. He's like, well, I just came from a seminar. I got a lot of books in my book bag. Would you like one of my books? I don't want your book. I just want a dollar. I just came from a seminar. There's a lot of, I got some, are you sure all you want is a dollar from me? He's like, yeah, that's all I want is a dollar. So Tony said, I reached into my wallet. I flipped past all the hundreds, thousands, 50s, 20s,
Be
10s,
careful what you ask for,
and I
because you
got
just
to
might
a
get
singular
just that.
dollar bill, and I gave the guy $1, and then I began to walk off. And this guy said, "Oh, what?
Oh.
Give me the rest of the money in your wallet." I can't, because
Just ask
all
for
you
what you
asked me
wanted.
for was a dollar.
That's right.
And what's powerful, I got chill bumps all over my body. So many times we're around platinum level people. And we're having plastic conversations
Amen.
with platinum people.
Wow.
We're having, you're not asking a grad school level question.
Wow.
There is so much wealth in me, but you haven't asked the question.
Right.
You can only pull from the breast what you pull. And you can put a baby up to the breast, but if the baby doesn't pull anything, and so many times people come up empty. They're not ready to extract from the wellspring of what's there.
That's right.
So you got to learn how to graduate the conversation with the people that are around you so that you can go to the next level.
Because you can't change the people, but you can change yourself. Every
Absolutely.
single morning I tell
Absolutely.
people you need to work on yourself harder than you work on anything else. The
Anything else.
investment
Come on.
that you make in yourself
Yes.
is going to take you where you want to go.
Yes.
You've got to work on yourself.
Yes.
I have to work on the words that I use, how I articulate, and that's
Come on.
what I really wanted. Well, this conversation has been great, but I really want you to talk about
Yeah.
how people assemble their words and assemble their message, because
Yeah.
I'm a job coach.
Yes,
And what
yes.
I tell people, I don't do resumes. I
Mhm.
don't work on resumes, I work on people. I
love
work on
that.
teaching people how to tell their story in a compelling way so that the employer does nothing more than say, you absolutely have this job. I need you to do this job.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's about telling the story. It's about articulating the words and putting them in such a way that people absolutely know what it is they need to do in order to move forward.
Yes, yes,
They've got to
yes,
have
yes.
the words together. So talk about that a little bit. Talk about choosing the words.
You know, it's funny. So I think this is a powerful conversation. So Warren Buffett just went on record as saying that the most important business skill he ever developed was public speaking. The wealthiest dude on the planet, the guy that keeps topping himself
That's right.
as the wealthiest dude in the world, said that the number one skill he used to be successful in business was his ability to speak well in public.
Wow.
And so he took Dale Carnegie courses way back in the day, and he recommends that every single one of his top level students have to go through a Toastmasters course in order to take it to the next level. Now, as a part of my success journey, I started in Toastmasters when I was in college. I joined Toastmasters when I was in college at Florida State. And in 2017, I was the opening keynote speaker for the Toastmasters World Convention.
Wow.
Toastmasters is the largest public speaking organization in the world. I was the only African American speaker on the entire program, and I was the opening keynote. It was remarkable. What does this have to do with words? Everything. Because one of the things that I learned and I realized early in my life, my mom was an English teacher. My mom was a Sunday school teacher. If you're going to be Olivia's kid, you had to be able to say something. You had to be able to put two words together, right? So everybody in the community of Tampa knows Olivia was, so my mom used to narrate gospel plays and productions.
Oh wow.
And so if you were gonna, just like how your dad DJ, right? So the DJ is in you, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of my good friends, Natasha Pierre, she says the swim is in the fish.
Oh wow.
At the end of the day, the truth is the speaker was in me from jump, because Olivia said, listen, if I'm an English teacher and I'm a Sunday school teacher, baby, you're gonna know how to talk. So I used to get all the longest parts in the Easter play, the Christmas play. I had to play Jesus, Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Come on, somebody. All the rest of my friends got Jesus wept. I got like 6 pages of notes I had to remember.
And you was gonna know that.
And I had to know what?
Ooh,
She was
right.
standing in the back of the church. I can't hear you. She would like enunciate your words. She was like, if you can learn Fat Boys, if you can learn New Edition, come on, Jesus, you can learn the presidents of the United States. My mom was very, very tough on me academically about making sure that I really leveraged my words carefully.
Right.
The reason why I told the Warren Buffett story is that last year I wrote my 7th book.
Wow.
And it's called Platinum Presentations, 52 Tips to Speak with Confidence, Win Your Audience, and Grow Your Bank Account.
Wow.
And in that book, it's right here, y'all, just in case you know this. And I actually brought some copies. So she's going to be giving this away at the Empowerment Summit. You can give it away to some of your folks. And make sure you take a copy for yourself. Make sure that DJ CEO gets a copy. So I'm really, really excited about that book. It's going gangbusters on Amazon. We're very, very grateful for it. It's book number 7. But one of the things that I teach in that book is the importance and the power of words. At the end of the day, one of the most important things, because just like public speaking, interviewing is one of the number one things that creates the most amount of fear in people.
Exactly.
And the number one thing that people say when they get ready to go into an interview is, I'm nervous.
Right. I don't know what to say.
Right. So watch this. Let me give you a tip right now. Everything is energy. I firmly believe that everything is energy. There's been scientific studies done that if you take 2 plants in your house, you give them the same exact amount of sunlight, you give them the same exact amount of water, you speak life to one plant, you
Yes.
speak death to another,
Yes.
the one that you speak death to, even though you give it sunlight and water, will die.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
your words
That's
have
right.
energy.
They matter.
So I got chill bumps. So when you say, I'm nervous, I don't know if I got what it takes, I don't know if they're going to like, you're literally framing a negative experience for this job interview before you even walk in.
Absolutely.
Rather than do that, why don't you say, listen, you know these butterflies I have in my stomach? They're an HAOIO.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I got to write that down.
You got to write that down. See, the truth is, you're not nervous. You have a HAOIO. Hey, I got a HAOIO. Oh, I got a HAOIO. An HAOIO is a healthy anticipation of an incredible outcome.
Whoa.
That's good.
I have a healthy anticipation of an incredible outcome. I've got an HAOIO. I have an L. So there's nothing you can do to make the nerves go away, the butterflies. But instead of saying, I'm nervous, say, I'm excited, I'm pumped, I am ready, right?
Absolutely.
Speak life, speak
Absolutely.
vitality. I'm excited about making sure that this company is a good fit for me. So many times we go into interviews looking at, okay, they're the holy grail, and I'm just a spam sandwich. No, baby. You are fearfully and wonderfully made.
That's right.
You can make this company millions of dollars. If you walk in there with that kind of attitude, with that kind of mindset, that I'm going to bring 10 times more value than you pay me in a salary or you pay me in my hourly wage. If you do what Zig Ziglar, my mentor, taught me, he said, always outperform your paycheck, because if
right.
you do more than you're paid to
That's
do,
right.
you'll be paid more for what you do.
That's right.
If you implement those things into your attitude and you step into that, you say, dude, I'm owning this place. Let me make sure you're a right fit for me.
And that's why I tell people, listen, the 90 days is not just for them. The 90 days is for
It's
you
for
too.
you.
Because if that company is not the right culture, not the right environment, they're not going to cultivate who you are and
Yes.
allow you to be your best self, you're going to be miserable there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you might be making more money than you've ever made in your whole life, but eventually you will fire yourself.
Absolutely. And speaking of firing yourself, why not look at your resume one day after you've spent a couple years at this company and hire yourself?
Amen.
Come on, somebody.
Let me go. Oh, so many different ways to go. I wish I had your book in 2009. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have been.
Talk about this right here now.
Yeah, I have
Opportunity, dreaming the job.
I have been in business for myself off and on since I was in my 20s. I went into financial services with Primerica Financial Services under millionaires millionaires.
Yeah.
Millionaires. Okay, I sat at the foot of millionaires. A guy whose team I was recruited onto, a man of color making $300,000 a year. Nobody believed him. They said, "Whatever you doing, they're gonna arrest you eventually."
Yeah.
That's what they said to him, and he said, "I don't care. I'm gonna keep going." And he's a multi-millionaire today, but he cash flows $1 million a year. His name is Charles Whitener. His number's in my phone. And what Charles did was Charles wanted to grow my vision.
Yeah.
So he sat me at the foot of millionaires. He sat me at people more successful than him. Now, most people were satisfied sitting at his feet because he was the most successful man they'd ever met.
Right.
But he said, "No, I don't want my team to just look at me for success.
Yeah.
I want my team to see people more successful than me." When you get somebody who is making what he was making, he could get you in front of people who were making 2 and 3 times. That's why your circle has to be
network is
right.
so
That's why
crucial.
the people around you have to be the right people.
Yeah.
They have to have the right spirit. They have to want you to be successful because they'll give you those opportunities. He gave me amazing opportunities, and the things that I saw and the things that I learned about myself and my ability to articulate my message, it's carried me to where I am now. And where I am now is on Working Wednesday on In Touch News Radio.
In Touch
We're going to
News
take a
Radio.
break.
Woo! Hey.
So let me tell you about. I tell you about a million things. I'll never stop talking. I've been talking since I was born. I don't think I was quiet. But helping people to articulate their message, helping people to articulate their message, helping people talk about. When people tell me I don't want to go on an interview, I don't know what to say. I said, all you're gonna talk about is yourself. You've been with yourself your whole life. How you can't talk about
How do
yourself?
you not know you? That doesn't make no sense.
Right. Well,
Nobody can tell you a
many of
story
us
like
don't
you
know
tell it.
ourselves.
That's true. That's true.
I'd say 90% of us.
Because we spend so much of our time being other people.
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
And
Showing
I
up,
said,
showing up
Let me
for our
be-
family.
Let me be Sean John. Let me be come on.
Yeah,
Let me be Kenneth
Yeah.
Cole. Let me be all these other things. Come on, we spend so much time being other identities that we don't know us at all. And I think it's important that we learn the process and the skill of really selling ourselves.
Right.
And then we're not at that place because we're so used to buying everyone else.
Yeah.
We don't know how to sell us.
Right.
But then we need to talk about that. We need to
Sell
talk about
us.
that as soon as that's.
Okay.
Exactly.
My God,
That's
have
it.
mercy.
Woo.
Exactly.
We so used to buying
Brandy with the
everybody
candy.
else.
What's
Come on,
going on,
somebody.
baby doll?
We
How
don't know
you
how to-
doing?
we don't know how to sell ourselves.
No, we don't know we don't really know our value. We don't. I mean, I have to check my own self because there are things that I give away that had value. I had one of my friends, a young lady in my circle,
Okay.
and I told her I was going to do something with some T-shirts. I was going to give these T-shirts away. She said, "Girl, you better sell them T-shirts. What's wrong with you?"
Come on.
She said, "You invested in those T-shirts so you could make money." She said, "Don't give that away." I said, "You know what? You're absolutely right."
Yeah.
And I have such a giving heart. I lead with my heart. It's not,
Right.
That's not always good.
We back on?
Good morning, good morning,
Hey.
good morning. It is Wednesday, Working Wednesday.
I'm loving this music.
My
though.
name is Margaret DeBellotte. I am Miss D, the job coach, and I'm on In Touch News Radio with Delatorro McNeal. Mr. McNeal,
Woo.
man. I got DJ CEO handling all
CEO in the house.
my business over there. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to be together today in this place to share this message and talk about these topics. If it
Yeah.
was not for you, we would not be. And I want you to always know how grateful I am for that.
Love you, sir, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely. Nothing but love, nothing but love. I got my start in public radio actually at WMNF 88.5. That's the first place Walter Smith allowed me to sit behind the mic in his show, The Sunday Forum, and that was absolutely amazing. And there was a young man in there, Supernola sat down and said, "Here, Miss D, do this, say this, do this, say this." And I was familiar with it, but having someone to guide me through the process,
right,
you know,
right.
hold my hand on the first day and on the second day, and by the 5th day, he said, "I'm gonna need you to let go of my hand. My wife is gonna start wondering why you keep touching me." So I said, "Okay, I'm ready to go on my own." My legs were wobbly, but I kept going. And recently, I had an amazing opportunity. I'm a New Yorker, and so I listened to the Breakfast Club on 105 out of New York, and I called in one morning to comment on something, and I introduced myself to DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlemagne the God, and I made my comment, and at the end I revealed to them that I'm a radio show host as well, and Charlemagne the God said, "Oh, young lady, I know that. I know by the way you articulated our names, by the way you said our names, by the way you introduced yourself,"
good.
and they allowed me to shout myself out, and as a result, I got a couple of Instagram followers from that because they
Nice.
listened to my show and, you know, listened to the show that I was on with them. And that was amazing. But to be recognized by another professional as a professional,
Yes.
that was a humbling moment
Yeah, that's
for
a
me
big
because,
deal.
you know, I come on here and I have a great time. I love doing this, and to have the opportunity to do it and to have the opportunity to get the influence and get the message out and knowing who I am today. So many of us are walking around and we don't know who we are.
That's right.
We
That's
don't know what our value is.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about people going on the journey to find out who they are so that they can elevate themselves to the place where they're able to articulate it.
You know, it's powerful. During the break, we were just talking about something that I think is really remarkable. And I think, you know, we spend so much of our lives consuming other people's identities that we don't understand the important. In other words, we spend so much time buying others, we don't know how to sell ourselves.
Wow.
I'm going to say that again. We spend
Yeah.
so much time buying others. How can I get some more FUBU? How can I get some more Sean John? How can I get some more
I
Rockaway?
want to
How
drive
can,
this car.
yeah. I want this car. I want this house. How can I buy the, you know? And we're always trying to acquire other identities because we don't take the time to actually sell who we are.
Right.
So it shows up in interviews. It shows up in our businesses. It shows up in the way that we pitch our products and services to the world. Because, like you said, a lot of times we give away stuff for free because in our own mind we don't assign value to ourselves.
Right.
I know people who have worked who've made millions of dollars for different network marketing organizations or different pharmaceutical sales organizations. Ask them to sell them, you can forget it.
Can't do it.
They can't do it. Why? Because they're so used to selling some other identity that they have not taken the time to not only learn themselves, but place a value on themselves.
Right.
So one of the things that I like to ask people all the time is I say, what problem do you solve? Every single one of us are nothing but professional problem solvers.
Exactly.
If you look at your gift and your talent, you say, okay, what gift and talent does what problem in the earth does my gift and talent solve?
Right.
All of a sudden, it changes the conversation. And one of the things that I like to do, can I borrow one of your pieces of paper?
Sure you can.
And I want to
Anything
draw.
I got.
I want to draw something for you that I want everyone to kind of really get with. If you guys would do me a favor and draw 4 circles, draw 4 circles, but you got to draw them like on the left side, the right side, the top, or the bottom, to where there's a middle point in the center. All right. I want you to draw 4 circles like this. If you're watching, you can see that, right? Right. You can see that, right? And if you're listening, I just want you to draw a circle. Circle at the top, circle at the bottom, circle to the left, circle to the right. But make sure that there's a connection point between all 4 circles. Here's one of the things that I learned and I realized. That people that are the successful in our world have found out the answer to 4 questions. Number 1, what do I love to do? That's a question of purpose. What do I do well? That's a question of proficiency. Third question is, what does the world need? Okay?
Right.
That's a question of humanitarian service. The last one is, what will the world pay for?
Wow.
I'm going to ask those questions again. Question number 1, what do you love to do? Not what do you like to do. Not, because here's the truth. Most people I see are walking around as multi-gifted human beings, and they have not decided of all of their gifts, which one is their primary. Every one of us, I humbly believe, have a singular primary gift. At the end of your life, you're going to be summed up in one word, right? If I say Henry Ford, you say the automobile, right? If I say Obama, you say president. If I say Mel Gibson, you say films, right? If I say Tyler Perry, you say plays, billionaire, right? Except people will sum up your life with one word.
Right.
The problem is that word, and it's not a problem, but that word is your primary passion. what we haven't taken the time to do is figure out what our primary passion is. And when you don't know what your primary passion is, you can never be excellent. So most of us go out here and we're a jack of all trades and a master of none, because we say, okay, I can do these 7 or 10 different things. And I tell every person, get rid of every title on your business card that's not producing $5,000 a month in income.
Say that again.
I'm going to say that again. Get rid of every title on your business card that isn't producing at least $5,000 a month. Here's the reason why I say that. The more titles you add to your business card, the more titles you have on your LinkedIn profile, it dilutes the power and the potency of the first title.
Wow.
At the end of the day, whatever you put, the human mind can only process a certain amount of data at the same time. It's called chunking. So if you want people to remember something, you have to chunk it. That's why phone numbers are chunked. That's why your driver's license is chunked. That's why your social security number is chunked. Because at the end of the day, the brain can only process so much. So anything more than 3 titles, the brain starts to call BS. You clearly aren't gifted at that.
Drop that.
Hello, come
Drop
on, somebody.
that off. Drop that off. That's not you.
Get rid of anything on your business card that's more than 3 titles that's not producing $5,000 a month for you. That's gonna force you to focus. Go ahead, DJ CEO. Come
Pull
on, somebody.
his card out.
So
He pulled his card out.
you made me look at my card. I got print, website, social media, political campaign, direct mail.
Okay. Now, DJ CEO bringing in money from all those. Come on, somebody, right? So he's built those out. But at my point is, a lot of us, look how long he's been in the game.
Exactly.
He's been in the game a long time to be able to not only have those titles, but also make one talk to the other.
That's
and
right.
talk to the other and talk to the other.
That's right.
And that's because he developed a strong tree trunk.
Say that again. Wait a minute. Go back to the tree trunk. Go back to the tree trunk. I need the tree trunk.
See, this is where it gets funky, right? Once you get clear about what your primary passion is and what your primary gift is, you have discovered your trunk. And
Okay.
Scripture says, he or she must be like a tree planted by the rivers of living water. If you're going to be like a tree, you got to have a trunk. I've never seen a tree come out of the ground with multiple trunks. There's always one trunk. Before Oprah had a studio, before she had her own network, she had one show. That was her tree trunk. And most of us don't want to figure out what our tree trunk is and really cultivate the trunk before we try to start branching out. You can't branch out till you got a trunk. What is your core? How can I sum up your gifting, your talent, and the problem that you solve in humanity with one word? Once you have developed that one word talent, that one word gift, and that one word anointing, and you're really masterful at it, then you get the opportunity to branch out here, there, and everywhere, and you get to change the world.
Wow. Wow. I better stop. I'm going to break DJ CEO's chair up in here. I'm going to break this chair. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Listen, an hour was not enough. We need to be at your next conference. Now, listen, we need to announce a whole bunch of things, but I want you to go first. Announce the things that you want to announce. People need to follow you, like you, and love you, and all of that. Get your books
thank you so much.
and all of this. It's so much. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed.
All right, so this is easy. Everybody, if you'd like to follow us on social media, please make sure that you follow us. Everything about us on social media is based on my first name. My brother's trying to pull a Oprah, first name basis. So everything, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, everything is Delatorro, Delatorro, Delatorro. Make sure you follow us on Instagram because we do something called the Delatorro Dash. 60 seconds to change your life. It's powerful, and in 60 seconds I say something to transform your life. So that's how you follow us on social media. If you want to send me an email, it's delatoro@gmail. Our primary website is delatorro.com, so my first name.com. That's how you can go to our website and check us out. Some of our books, the book we've been talking about predominantly today has been Caught Between a Dream and a Job, How to Leave the 9-to-5 Behind and Step into the Life That You've Always Wanted. And the other book that we were referencing quite a bit today is our newest book, which is entitled Platinum Presentations, 52 Tips to Speak with Confidence, Win Your Audience, and Grow Your Bank Account. Listen, let me tell you something. You've got to be checking out In Touch Radio and In Touch News. I mean, you've got to. This platform is absolutely remarkable. It's powerful. And this is my first time being on, but it will not be my last. This is family for me. These folks go in the Tampa Bay area and around the country and around the world, and I love the work that they're doing. So that's how you follow up with us. Do me a favor, 2 things really quickly. If you're listening and you know that you want to develop your public speaking and presentation skills and you want me to mentor you in speaking, visit our website, crushthestage.com. That's crushthestage.com. I do a 3-day boot camp where I help people become better speakers, authors, coaches, and consultants. And so you can go to crushthestage.com to learn more about that. And save the date, July 10th through the 14th is my annual motorcycle-themed success conference for high achievers. It's called the Full Throttle Experience. There is nothing on the planet like FTX, and it's going to be right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. It's July 10th through the 14th. Save the date. Registration is going to go up in about 2 weeks. 300 high achievers from all over the country are going to come together for 4 days, and it's going to be total life transformation, Delatorro style. And thank you so much for the wonderful honor to be here. I'm so excited about this.
I can't even say anything. What am I going to say? Listen, we're rolling up to the Empowerment Summit. The Empowerment Summit is this Saturday at the Godfrey Hotel. That thing is going to be absolutely amazing. Delatorro, thank you for loving on me. Thank you for loving on me. Thank you for loving on me, my cause, my purpose, my audience. My name is Margaret DeBellotte. This is Working Wednesday. This is In Touch News Radio. We'll see you next time.
Peace. All right, y'all. We out. We got another one.